Just when you think it can't get any worse for the agents of the United States Border Patrol, it does. Commissioner Gil Kerlikowske, the head of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, sent the following commissioner's message. Commissioner Kerlikowske announces Border Patrol chief. And here's the statement. I have selected Mark Morgan as chief of the U.S. Border Patrol. You will see from Mark's long career in law enforcement and the leadership positions he has held that he will fulfill at the highest level the obligations and responsibilities of leading the outstanding law enforcement organization that is the Border Patrol. There was a national search for a chief and a professional and objective process used to select Mr. Morgan. The pool of candidates who applied yielded an array of extremely experienced, dedicated, and professional law enforcement executives in federal law enforcement and within the Border Patrol who sought this critical position. I also want to address very directly the selection of someone who is not part of the Border Patrol. The position of a law enforcement chief at the local, state, or federal level is one that demands an exhausting commitment of time that must be spent analyzing its future in light of rapid changes and time charting a course from a variety of perspectives. That is why almost all federal law enforcement agencies have at various times chosen someone from outside their ranks to make that assessment and chart that course. The U.S. Capitol Police, U.S. Park Police, Coast Guard, CID, Naval Criminal Investigative Service, ATF, and DEA, among others, have done the same, in addition to large local and state law enforcement organizations across the country. None of these decisions to have a leader from outside the organization reflected negatively on the current leadership of those agencies. In the case of the Border Patrol, the current leadership across the top from headquarters to the field consists of the finest group of men and women that I have worked with in my more than 40 years in law enforcement. I welcome Mark as an important member of the leadership of CBP and DHS and firmly believe that his experience and long and successful career in law enforcement will be of great value to the men and women of the U.S. Border Patrol. Now, that is the statement from the commissioner. Here's the response from the union. This is the National Border Patrol Council and published on their site. Commissioner Gil Kerlikowske earlier today announced Mike Morgan as the new chief of the U.S. Border Patrol. Chief Morgan is a 20-year veteran of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, and has held positions in local law enforcement as well. While we are disappointed that Commissioner Kerlikowske chose to break with 92 years of tradition and pass over several highly qualified candidates from within the Border Patrol, we look forward to working with Chief Morgan on the important issues and policies affecting the United States Border Patrol. We would ask Chief Morgan to remember that the men and women working on the border every day are the real experts in border security, and that it would behoove him to hear and act upon their concerns and suggestions. This is an agency with a long tradition of service and a commitment to its mission that has few parallels. The Border Patrol has a unique mission that is reflected in its culture, and we realize it will be difficult for an outsider to quickly gain the trust and respect of his subordinates. We hope that Chief Morgan will quickly overcome this hurdle and develop a good working relationship with both the senior leadership and the rank and file of the U.S. Border Patrol. It can be done, but it will depend upon the deeds of Chief Morgan, not his words. Now, the statement goes on to say, Chief Morgan has been entrusted with the leadership of a proud organization that has been under fire from both outside parties, primarily Mexico, and liberals across the U.S. who are open borders and anti-border patrol, and from within Customs and Border Protection. We hope that Chief Morgan will be a strong advocate for Border Patrol agents and champion their safety and their ability to effectively enforce the laws of the United States. Should that situation fail to materialize, the National Border Patrol Council will not pause in its mission to bring the truth about the border to light or as the voice of 16,500 Border Patrol agents. Finally, we want to thank Deputy Chief Ron Vitello, who, as acting chief, over the course of time since Mike Fisher was essentially moved on from his position as Chief of the Border Patrol, for his leadership during the interim period. Deputy Chief Vitello has served as an example of what all law enforcement managers should strive to be, a fair, competent leader who took care of his people while accomplishing the mission. Now, Chief Morgan, as he is Chief of the Border Patrol, comes over from the FBI, where he basically served in a variety of capacities. However, he also served as the acting head of the Office of Internal Affairs, taking over from James Tomczak, and essentially was charged with revamping an agency, Internal Affairs, with many issues that were subjects of earlier reports by the New American and this reporter. A key problem there was essentially Amnesty Month, where 711 cases of impropriety were whitewashed under the rug without investigation, and countless other documented issues that were presented by whistleblowers in closed meetings on Capitol Hill as far back as 2013. This reporter knows, having facilitated those meetings. The facts, though, that have emerged from this is that Mr. Morgan essentially shuffled chairs around, moved people around, but the apparatus remains intact. Nothing changed inside of the Office of Internal Affairs. What has gone on continues today, as I hear through sources. Now, if this is what's going to happen as Chief of the Border Patrol, then those people who support these policies of this administration should be happy, because nothing will be changing. Agents will essentially not be able to do their jobs and enforce the immigration laws of the United States of America. On top of that, things that do need to be changed won't be changed. You may find a shuffling of chairs, a shuffling of titles, and a shuffling of top personnel, but not much more than that. And that's just going to all be surface stuff so they can say something was done. In an email I received from a retired Border Patrol agent, mid-level management, it stated as follows: "End of the patrol, the last nail has been driven in." So what we're going to see here is nothing is going to change that is positive for this agency. This is an individual who knows how to take orders well from management. And if you look at the appointment of former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Sarah Saldana, who heads up ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, you're going to find that nothing will change. Apprehensions will remain down because the agents will not be allowed to do their job. You'll have your dog and pony shows, and that's about it. Dog and pony shows meaning high publicity arrests solely for a political and media purpose and little else. Agents' safety will remain compromised. Agents will not be able to do their jobs. And you know how you compromise agent safety? You put them in positions where they can't do their jobs. You give them awards, such as CBP has established, for not engaging, for not having what they call an enforcement matter that could result in a shooting, where agents essentially are told to hide and you get an award for it. You get a medal for it. If that's what the agency wants, which is clear by this administration's appointments and actions, that will continue. Mr. Morgan is their man for the job. But that's not what the people want. That's certainly not what the agents want. That's certainly not what the retired agents who built the United States Border Patrol could have ever possibly imagined. No, this is a day that should long be remembered as the end of the United States Border Patrol. And it started literally under the Bush administration, George W. Bush, and his Department of Homeland Security with his appointment of David Aguilar, that concludes with the Obama administration's appointment of Mark Morgan.